Ayun mga kababayan, welcome back for another video at eto na naman tayo, ang inyong lingkod, Birador Piqua at your service.
You know, we do that better than anybody. I bet you got it twisted, you don't know who to trust. So many player hating niggas trying to sound like us. Say they ready for the front, but I don't think they know it. Straight to the depths of hell is where them cowards going. Well, all you still down, nigga, holler when you see me. And let these devils be sorry for the day they finally free me. I got a caravan of niggas every time we ride. Hitting motherfuckers up when we pass by. Until I die, live the life of a boss player. Cause even when I'm high, fuck with me and get crossed later.
Pag-usapan po natin itong big development last week dito po sa nangyaring desisyon ng Korte Suprema. Okay, kayo matagal nyo nang pilit pinapapanagot itong mga Duterte. No? Ano bang basa ninyo dito sa nangyaring desisyon ng Korte Suprema, and do you think meron pa bang kinabukasan yung impeachment trial na yan?
Well, una-una, very disappointed tayo, syempre, doon sa naging desisyon ng Korte Suprema. Kasi, buti sana kung talagang logical siya, no? At alam mong unbiased, pero alam natin yung circumstances leading to that Supreme Court ruling. Kasi maaga pa lang, umuugong na luto na nga daw yung desisyon. Tapos, ito na, nung lumabas eventually yung desisyon, merong factual errors. Mabigat yung factual errors na yon. Kasi naka-base yung kanilang decision to declare that impeachment complaint unconstitutional doon sa premise na ang unang dinisisyonan o ang unang dinispose ay yung first impeachment complaint. Pero maliwanag dun sa records ng House of Representatives na ang una nilang dinispose ay yung fourth impeachment complaint. Yun na nga, in-endorse na nila. At bago pa maaksyonan yung tatlong impeachment complaints, yung first, second, and third, na sinasabi ng Korte Suprema, nung in-adjourn yun, na-dismiss siya, ang problema, by the time nasa Senado na physically yung fourth impeachment complaint. So may factual error doon na kailangan ma-correct. Okay. Ngayon, ganito nakikita natin, Christian. Magpa-file ng motion for reconsideration yung House of Representatives through the Solicitor General. So it can happen within the next few days and they have time to do that. Ngayon, aantayin yan ng Senado dapat kasi hindi naman pwede silang mag-decide to dismiss the impeachment proceedings na may pending pa na MR. What if baliktarin yun? Kahit sabihin nilang malabo yun, but still you need to do that. Ngayon, kung makita ng Korte Suprema na, ay, sorry, may factual error pala, mali, therefore hindi pala unconstitutional, di babalik tayo ulit, back to square one tayo. Yung iba kasing mga sinabi doon nito ni Leonen doon sa kanyang decision, hindi dinidemand ng Constitution yon. Therefore, hindi niya masasabing unconstitutional yon kasi there is no basis to do that. Kaya ang pinakang basis ng kanyang decision ay yung 1-year ban. Kasi nauna na raw inaksyonan to, therefore, gano'n. So, yan ang mangyari. So, in short, buhay pa itong impeachment trial na ito, kahit medyo alanganin ang lagay, but still buhay pa siya. So yun.
Talaga, medyo I'm happy that you're very optimistic, pero pag parang titingnan mo yung pronouncements ng ibang mga senador, pati ng mga fence-sitters, pati yung mga bigla tapangan ngayon, parang kung buhay man sobrang naghihingalo na. No, kumaga nakakabit na lang sa sa tao dito, yung machine para mabuhay.
Hindi, ang ko naman dito, Christian, ganito habang nandito pa, hindi pa patay, ilaban natin. Di ba? Ilaban natin. By some stroke of luck or miracle, ma-reverse yung motion for consideration, di buhay siya. Di ba? So, but we need to apply public pressure. Ito, marami na nagsalitang mga legal luminaries na sinasabing, tingnan niyo yung factual error. Tapos yung iba, sinasabi nga, judicial overreach or the judiciary went beyond doon sa kanilang poder. Which by itself is an impeachable offense. So mamaya na tayo pupunta doon. Pero ang point nito is, nandito ito, nilalaban natin. Yung sinasabi ng mga legal luminaries, yung matter of opinion kasi, pwede mo, matter of interpretation, you can say that, pero yung factual basis dito, hindi pwedeng baluktutin. Ang sinasabi ni Leonen, inuna nyo yung first impeachment complaint doon sa pag-refer sa archive. Therefore, 1-year rule na, 1-year ban. Kaso hindi eh.
Yun nga.
Based doon sa records mismo. So maliwanag yun eh. Hindi to pwedeng i-interpret any other way kundi kung ano yung facts as it stands based on the records.
Yun
Kaya
nga.
yun ang sinasabi ko. Pero pagka sinustain nila yan, anong pwede mangyari? Naririnig natin sa mga civil society organizations that they are seriously considering filing impeachment cases doon sa mga Supreme Court justices na mag-a-affirm nung motion for reconsideration. Di ba? Sige, these justices, yung mga pipirma ulit, kasi 13 ngayon, pero baka may magbago isip dun sa susunod, they will now be subject doon sa same standards na ginawa nila. Papatawag sila sa Justice Committee. At doon sila tatanungin, kailan nyo to pinirmahan, kailan nyo to binasa, sino nag-draft nito. Lahat yan on record eh. Kasi biruin mo, may milagro nangyari doon eh. Supposed to be, walang pasok nun eh. Walang pasok dapat.
Interesting yung scenario binabanggit niyo.
Oo. Isasubject sila. At meron ng mga congressmen na nag-express ng interest to sign these impeachment complaints. Kasi tatanungin, bakit ka nagmadali? No? Itong si Leonen, bakit ka nagmadali? Na on the day na i-deliberate, may desisyon na sila lahat, tapos pre-promulgate na immediately executory pa. Talagang preemptive, ano? And let me tell you about ditong si Leonen, kasi ganito siya eh. Alam mo, civil society, na pinopost nila yan eh. Pero itong track record niyan. Nung kinowaran to si former Chief Justice Sereno, kahit na alam niya na mali, pero pumirma siya doon, sumama siya doon. Tapos nung nag-file kami ng case sa Supreme Court na yung unilateral withdrawal si Digong sa ICC, anong ginawa niya? Hindi siya nagmadali, kagaya nito ilang araw lang. Inupuan niya until nag-moot in academic siya. Sinabi niya, oo, tama na kailangan yung Senado ng concurrence nila bago makapag-withdraw sa isang treaty. Kasi nung pumasok, kailangan ng concurrence, dapat paglabas, kailangan din concurrence. Kaso umutin academic na raw. Ganyan si Leonen. Kaya kung ano man yung previous good impression nyo about that guy, wag nyo na. Ilagay nyo sa basurahan at he is not that guy. Okay?
Kayo ba personally, would you support that scenario that you mentioned earlier? Yung mag-file impeachment cases against this Supreme Court justices at idaan sila ron sa prosesong binabanggit nila?
Wala pa ako doon. Kasi umaasa pa ako na makikita nila yung error. Kaya nga sinasabi ko, ako naririnig ko lang ito dito sa mga civil society groups. Kinukonsider nila. Ako sinasabi ko, you can't do that yet kasi meron pang MR eh. Mala mo magbago isip. Paano ngayon? Yung kunyari, kinasuhan mo yung 13, tapos may nagbagong isip na 8. Ando doon na yung kaso, di ba? Kaya ang pinakang maganda nito, antayin nyo yung MR. Kasi may factual error eh. Pino-point out nila, former justices, chief justices, sinasabi nila, may mali doon sa decision nyo. You will have the opportunity to rectify your error. Pero pag hindi pa rin, saka na tayo mag-usap kung...
Pero hindi ba yan? Hindi ba kahiyaan yan sa Supreme Court kung sakasakali? Kasi unanimous yung decision. Tapos biglang ipapamukha sa kanila, teka, yung decision ninyo, ang pinagbasihan, factually incorrect. So ano naman yung mukhang iharap nila? Lahat kami hindi namin nakita yon. Yung very crucial factual error na yun.
Ano kasi, no? The way a collegial body works, especially dyan sa Supreme Court, kasi merong ponensya eh. May ponente. So yung ponente, ina-assume nung iba na ginawa niya yung homework niya. Na hindi ganon. 'Di ba? Kasi wala nang ibang opportunity yung ibang justices to study the facts regarding the case. Sinabi ng ponente ganito bakit nila pagdududahan 'yon? So ang hina-highlight nga dito, mali. So ang naman dito, hindi naman ito unprecedented. Merong kaya nga yung motion for reconsideration is there because there is an opportunity to rectify yung errors, especially as glaring as this one. Kaya pwede yun. Hindi naman kahiyaan yun. Pwede mo sabihin, teka muna, now that it was already pointed out to us, hindi man pwedeng i-embrace mo yung mali, knowing na mali na siya, dahil lang nakakaya. Hindi. Yung tama, pwede mo pa rin gawin.
Kasi ito nga, following the logic of the Supreme Court instructions sa House, diba? Meron sa listahan ng mga tanong na sabi nila, sagutin nyo to, House of Representatives, although hindi yata lahat sinagot. If I remember it correctly, isa rin sa mga pinupunto nila, kayo ba nabasa niyo yung articles of impeachment na yan bago nyo pinirmahan? Kung sakaling umabot tayo dito sa scenario na binabanggit ninyo, na ma-impeach sila at dumaan sila sa Justice Committee, di pwede rin pala ibalik sa kanilang ganun tanong. Teka, kayo ba, na mga lumagda doon sa ponensya ni Marvic Leonen, nabasa nyo ba lahat yun? At talagang inintindi nyo ba yun? At hindi ba kayo nagmadali? Di ba? That's the absurdity of it all.
Yun mismo. Ganun mismo. No? They will be subjected to the same standard they set. Di ba? Tapos ito yan. Alam mo ba, Christian, na yung 100-page na ponensya na yan ni Leonen, kumalat na yan Monday afternoon pa lang.
Ganun ba?
Kakatanggap nila, yung mismong kopya, kakatanggap pa lang nila, theoretically, nung sagot ng House. So, ibig sabihin, hindi pa nakikita man lang yung sagot ng House, naluto na. Di ba? Kaya nga, di ba, kumalat na sa social media, sa mga chat groups na naluto na ng Supreme Court yung decision. Alam mo yan, di ba? Ganun, there is a reason for that. Kasi nga, precisely, naluto na. Pati nga yung pagkaponente ni Leonen, nando doon. Ngayon, ganito, isa pang pwedeng gawin natin dito. Lahat ng mga law school classmates, students nito ni Leonen, i-point out nyo naman lang yung error. Kamag-anak niya, uy, Leonen, kamali ka rito. Di ba? Baka pwedeng gano'n. Napaka-obvious mo naman kung i-point out na sa'yo na nagkamali ka. Kasi records ito eh.
Oh.
Yung sa kanya, wala siyang basis eh. Assumption yung kanya na ginawa. Kaya this is an opportunity for this guy to correct the error of his ways.
Senator Sotto, good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining us today. Welcome to the program.
My pleasure, Carmina. Thank you very much for the invitation. Good afternoon.
All right. 2 days from now, the Senate will decide on whether or not the impeachment trial should proceed. Last I checked, Senator Sotto, there were only 2 affirmatives in the minority. What is happening as we speak?
Well, we expect that the members listen to the different perspectives as far as the decision of the Supreme Court is concerned. At the outset, if you have not read the decision and you just merely hear that there is a so-called Supreme Court decision that the impeachment, articles of impeachment should be dismissed, or as far the emotion in the Senate might come up with a motion to dismiss it, then perhaps you might believe it. But if you read through the decision, and hopefully many members of the Senate would be able to read the 97-page decision, there are a number of inconsistencies. There are a number of points, facts that obviously the decision was done without oral arguments, without consulting Congress, without consulting the legislative branch. So I expect that when the time comes that there is this motion to be filed, we will object, and we will ask our colleagues to listen why we are objecting. That's about it, Carmina.
So you now head the minority, and there are 5 of you there. But again, last I checked, it's only you and Senator Risa who are going to object to the termination of the trial or dismissing the trial. What's happening to the other 3?
I don't know where that number came from, but I've been hearing some points also from my other colleagues. There are questions that are being posed by Senator Pia Cayetano, Senator Lacson, Senator Bamakino, Senator Pangilinan. So it's not just Risa and I who are asking questions about it and perhaps preparing to interpolate on Wednesday. You see, there is a very important point that I would bring up. I would like to bring up right away in the decision. Just one small point as far as they're concerned, but it has a very big implication on the decision and the motion that we're about to tackle.
And what's that point?
For example, this is the Supreme Court decision. If you will read it, the ponente, Justice Leonen, he said that the first 3 complaints have been archived because of the adjournment of the 19th Congress. The date of adjournment, he said, is February 5. Adjournment is not an adjournment sine die, and no bills are archived, most especially an article of impeachment. Nothing is archived when there is an adjournment. An adjournment sine die only. When the 19th Congress dies, that is the time that there is a adjournment sine die. And therefore, all the bills, all the resolutions, all the committee reports, articles of whatever, agreements, even the petitions, they all are archived on the adjournment sine die, never on the adjournment for a break. So apparently, the ponente is unfamiliar with congressional rules. Therefore, that part of the decision alone. Silang mga abogado, meron silang kasabihan falsus unus, falsus omnibus. False in one, false in all. Doon pa lang, mali na So we have to tackle that, we have to discuss that, and we have to tell our colleagues to look into that. Not only that, there are 2 or 3 other points in the decision that should be questioned.
And come August 6, are you confident that this will be decided upon, not in a way that it's minority versus majority, but are you confident that this will cross that line? As you mentioned, there are names in the majority who might vote against the objection, or who will object to the motion. Go ahead.
Yes, hopefully. We're keeping our fingers crossed that they listen to the debates, the interpellations, and that perhaps we need not decide on the motion to dismiss. If ever there is a motion to dismiss that will be filed, we may appeal to them to wait for the MR. Wait for the decision of the motion for reconsideration. Because otherwise, if we decide on something and then the Supreme Court reverses itself, and it has happened before, huwag nila sasabihin na hindi nagre-reverse ang Supreme Court pagka unanimous, ganyan. Paano kung unanimous mistake? They do. They reverse themselves. There are a number of bills, law decisions that we can name that they have reversed themselves in the past.
And this is exactly what the House of Representatives is appealing to the Senate, no? Na maghinay-hinay, to tread softly, tread carefully before making any decisions. And you think that's going to be the more prudent tack?
Hopefully, Carmina, because, for example, my position, my position, this is not about Sara. It's about the preservation of the Philippine Constitution. Yun ang worry ko dun The present case is of no moment, so to speak. The important thing is that there are amendments to the Constitution by this Supreme Court decision, and the issue of doctrine of operative facts. Tama yung sinabi ni Justice Ascuda, the retired Justice Ascuda. There will be a new definition of the doctrine of operative facts if you read through the decision. And what happens if that is into the books of the Philippines? Ang mangyayari, itong the impeachment of ERAP and the impeachment of Justice Corona becomes null and void. Magiging null and void based on the Supreme Court decision. Because this decision, binubura yung option 3 in the Constitution as far as the impeachment is concerned. And what worries me is that if this happens, wala na may impeach. Believe me, wala na may impeach. I'm sure the Philconsa and the other lawyers, once they read through it, hihirap mawawala yung option 3. They practically amend, this decision practically amends the Philippine Constitution. And that's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about Sarah, guilty, not guilty. No, it's not about that.
Which is precisely why I want to ask you the next question. I mean, you've been known as someone who says no to shortcuts. Ayaw na ayaw niyo po yan pag nagkakaroon ng mga shortcuts. And when you read through the 97-page ruling, shouldn't you also read it as something that is also against shortcuts, putting process over personality? Kasi yun din po yung basa ng iba na hindi binubura yung option 3. Pero kung may ganitong proseso sa mga nakaraang option, those should be present as well in option 3 so that it won't be more political than anything. Go ahead po, Senator. Your thoughts.
I'm glad you asked that question. That's a very nice question. First, the answer to that is why was option 3 placed in the Constitution? Ask the constitutionalists. Ask them why they placed it there. Because It has to have the impeachment has to have something like that. It's not a shortcut, but what we call in basketball fast break. Why? Why is the reason for this? What if the president is selling us to China? You cannot impeach him right away. You must remove him from office right away. If somebody is committing a grave abuse of discretion or grave sin or criminal offense, you cannot remove him right away. You will have to go under the due process. That is the reason for the third option na 1/3 lang ng Congress ay pwede na.
But Senator,
that is not hindi sa atin yan, sa ibang mga bansa ganun din, because you need that to preserve the country.
But Senator, you as well, as we all know, you're a student of history as well, and you've seen many things happen in this country, wherein the political elite dictate the trajectory of the country. Hindi ho ba pag-aayos, itong naging desisyon ng Korte Suprema, hindi ba ito pag-aayos dun sa ganitong klaseng exploitation na pwedeng mangyari dito sa option 3? Go ahead po.
Hindi po. Hindi po ako naniniwala na gano'n. As a matter of fact, ang nakikita ko sa mangyayari, wala na nga mai-impeach eh. Pinahirap eh. Ano mangyayari ngayon dyan? Bigyan kita ng example kagad. Somebody is set to file an impeachment against, let's say, the ombudsman. Ano? Meron ngayong kaibigan na congressman yung ombudsman na alam may magpapile. Uunahan niya ngayon ng walang kakwenta-kwentang charge sa ombudsman. Nauna na yun. Based on this Supreme Court decision, wala na yung pangalawa. Wala na yung iba. May nauna na eh. Ganun yun.
Pero meron din...
Bring it to the layman's language. Makikita nyo ha. Ang daming palamuti nung decision, pero pag pinasa mo, yun ang ibig sabihin nun. So, when the framers of the Constitution placed option 3, it is an important asset to the Constitution for abusive officials, for abusive and powerful government officials.
Nabanggit niyo po yung unahan sa pag-file. There's also a paragraph there in the decision that states, obviously, sham complaints, for example, those that are not verified, should be dismissed immediately, even if endorsed. Complaints that are not properly endorsed by a member of the House of Representatives within a reasonable period should also be dismissed. These types of dismissals will not trigger the 1-year ban. Hindi po ba ito sufficient enough to sort of serve as a barrier against these sham complaints that you mentioned?
I don't think so, because they can come up with not looking like a sham complaint. And I think there was a portion there that what you mentioned na kailangan mayroong congressman na mag-endorse. Daling kumuha noon. Madaling gawin yun. No, it's going to be very tricky. Believe me, read it again.
Okay.
Come up with something that you need to file an impeachment to a particular official. Hihirap yan.
Now, I did a little digging, Senator Soto. You sent out a message on X. Let me just read the tweet that you sent out last year. In fact, when I saw this, it got me thinking as well during the time that you sent it. Ang sabi niyo po, 1987 Constitution, Article 11, Section 3. No impeachment, Section 35, is it? No impeachment proceeding shall be initiated against the same official more than once within a period of 1 year. Ang sabi niyo po, wala lang, just a reminder to everyone concerned. That was sent out, I believe, November 26, 2024. The first impeachment complaint against the Vice President was filed December 4th. Ano pong naiisip nung mga panahon na yon? Did you foresee a scenario that eventually it will come to that there will be several complaints filed against the Vice President, and you were warning them against it, Senator?
Something to that effect. If I'm trying to recall what particularly made me say that. I think I was discussing something with a fellow candidate, and if I'm not mistaken, it was Senator Lacson. And specifically, I wanted that people look into the Article 11 of the Constitution, which speaks of abuse which speaks of the impeachment, removal of public officials. I think that's what triggered me to specifically tweet that.
Now, there was another tweet that you sent out. Ang sabi niyo po, the Senate parang hindi pa na-refer sa ito. Let me just get it. I just learned that the impeachment transmitted by the House of Representatives last February has never been referred to the Senate Rules Committee. Ay, grabe. Yun po ang sinabi ninyo.
Yes.
How is this not comparable to the first 3 impeachment complaints not being forwarded to the House Justice Committee? Kasi nung mga panahon din pong yun, nagbabantay yung mga tao, kailan ba ito i-refer? Kailan ba ito i-forward sa House Justice Committee? How would you compare the two?
Okay. In my opinion, they were not ready until February 5, when they were not ready with the articles of impeachment. When they submitted it to the Senate in February 5, 4:15 p.m., the Senate President and the Senate President's office received it. What I'm saying in that particular tweet is that they had enough time to refer it to the Committee on Rules. The proper action of the Senate President or the presiding officer at that time, once you receive an article of impeachment from, or any bill actually, or any communication from the House of Representatives, your counterpart, you must inform the body. So you inform the body, and the articles of impeachment, that piece of paper that is important as an impeachment, should have been referred to the Committee on Rules on February 5. They adjourned at 6:55 p.m. without doing so. So na-dribble yung impeachment until June. O pagdating ng June 12, June 3, they convened as an impeachment court. Nag-rogue pa sila, hindi ba? They impeached, and then they sent out
Summons.
the summons to the prosecution and the defense. What do you call that? That is convening the impeachment court. Hindi naman moro-moro yun na nagbihis-bihis lang, costume lang sila. Di ba? Transmittal to the Senate is already the verified complaint.
Right. No, I get that.
So,
I get that. Pero yung non-action po on the part of the House of Representatives regarding the first 3 complaints, because you're a stickler for rules, wala ho kayong nakikitang paglabag doon. Tama lang ho yung ginawa ng House of Representatives sa pananaw niyo po.
Sa pananaw ko, sa tingin ko, and I will look at regularity as far as this is concerned. Siguro, yung fourth, yung final, yung impeachment complaint na sinama nila, either ni referral, sinama nila yung laman ng 1, 2, 3, or yung 4 lang ang tingin nila na may balor. Now, I do not want to talk off my hat. I don't know what the 1, 2, 3 contained. That's I was not part of the house, and I was not able to read what was in the 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Ang alam ko lang is may articles of impeachment na sinampa noong February 5.
All right.
So my position in my kaalaman ko ay limitado doon.
Okay. Now, back to August 6, kung saan po tayo nagsimula, how do you think it'll all play out? Iba na po kasi ngayon eh. You have your personal opinion. May pagninilay din ang nangyayari sa mga colleagues nyo. As you said a while ago, hopefully it will cross the lines between majority and minority. But there's also the sentiment of the public regarding this recent Supreme Court ruling. Do you think that will play into this as well? And it's not just a simple 20 majority voting to dismiss. What do you think?
I'm hoping that we will be able to convince our colleagues to not dismiss it right away, but instead wait for the motion for reconsideration and what the Supreme Court will do. I think that will be a better thing, because what I'm hearing is that the Supreme Court is might call for oral arguments.
Yeah.
If a motion for reconsideration is filed. So, baka pwedeng, I'm sorry for saying that. I am hoping that baka sakaling maghintay kami.
Okay.
Hindi naman kailangan desisyonan yung motion eh. If there is a motion to dismiss, we can table the motion once we convince a majority of us na, teka muna, so we're not going to dismiss the motion, we're not going to beat the motion, vote against it, no. We may be able to say, lay it on the table and take it up once the motion for reconsideration is considered.
Okay, before we continue and talk about your idea of having a PRDA and what the PDEA and the Dangerous Drug Board are saying against it, I just want to get your sense of the current composition of the Senate, the 20th in the 20th Congress. Have you? I mean, you've been here for quite a while, Senator Sotto. Have you seen? In all your years, such strange alliances and lines being blurred in this current composition of the Senate. Marami na kayong nakita. Pero ito, is this the strangest you've seen in terms of alliances and composition? Parang naglabo-labo na po lahat.
Siguro yung 19th Congress, maybe. I was not part of it, so I don't know. The 20th Congress, I have yet to see. To answer your question, ibabalik ko, nung araw, and what I stand for always, whether the President is Cory Aquino, Ramos, or even up to President Marcos Jr., the Senate must be independent, must remain independent. The integrity, the reputation of the Senate must be preserved. Lagi yun ang posisyon ko. So, in your question, there is a possibility right now, after these debates and all that, I will be able to answer your question in a better manner. Kasi I have yet to see if we will indeed remain independent or we will remain, a majority of us will act independent or independently.
All right, fair enough, and we shall wait for that. Now, on to the PRDA and the danger to replace. Is it to replace or is it going to be another agency?
Actually, it will be upgrading the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency and the Dangerous Drugs Board into an authority. It will become a higher body. It will be directly under the office of the President.
Okay.
Let me explain why. Okay, there are 4 major concerns. This is the only way you can solve the problem of illegal drugs. Hindi totoo yung sinasabi ng dating Presidente, 6 months, todasin lahat yung drug pushing. Wala yun, hindi totoo yun. Nung araw pa man, alam kong hindi totoo yun. You must have the 4 major concerns. Enforcement, all right? Prosecution, rehabilitation, prevention. Okay, para sa mga yung enforcement, ulihin niyo yung mga pusher. Prosecution, ikulong ninyo. Pusher, small time, big time, lahat. Okay. Rehabilitation, sapagkat yung mga drug dependent na i-rehabilitate mo, huwag mo patayin. 4, yung mga hindi pa. Kaya nga importante ang prevention program. Sa akin, malakas dapat ang prevention program at rehabilitation program over these. Ngayon, sino in charge ng enforcement at the moment? PDEA and some of the anti-narcotics units of the Philippine National Police, sometimes NBI, but hindi coordinated fully with PDEA. Okay. Ang nangyari, ang interpretasyon ng mga nauupo sa PDEA, ako yung original, ako yung author nun. Ang interpretasyon nila, parang we established an elite unit against illegal drugs. Hindi. Ito yung, ang gusto ko dito talaga sa PDEA would be supervisory. They will oversee. Ganun dapat So ang enforcement, anong nangyari? Nagsosolo sila. The only time you need an elite force is that if the area is compromised. If the PNP in the area is compromised. So, nangyayari ngayon? Hindi masuccessful, di ba? Alright? Madaming huli ngayon. Pero prosecution, during the last 10 years, average prosecution success, 85% dismissed. Bakit? Sino in charge yan? DOJ. Bikinalaman ba ang DDB at saka PDEA? Wala. Magre-report lang sila. Di ba? Okay. Now, rehabilitation. Who's in charge of rehabilitation? Department of Health. There are 48 rehabilitation centers in the Philippines. About 17 lang ang accredited ng DOH. Inasikaso ba ng DOH ito ng mga nakaraan? Hindi. Ano inasikaso? Para mali. Di ba?
So it's not
ngayon,
to
yung prevention.
so it's not to replace. Go ahead, prevention.
No. I'm not saying replace it. It's the media that says replace it. I didn't say replace it. I said the law, the bill upgrades them. Okay? On the fourth, yung to complete
Yeah.
na. Yung prevention. Sino in charge dapat dito? DepEd. Di ba? Department of Education. Bakit? Grade 4, grade 5, grade 6, grade 7, dapat meron ng drug abuse resistance education program. So the new 13 years old will not go into it. Where they will know already what it's all about. It will destroy their future, their family, themselves. So, sino in charge ngayon dyan? DepEd. Nako-coordinate ba sa DDB at saka sa
Hindi.
PIDEA? Hindi. So, this authority will put everything together in one cognitive machine.
Okay.
You know,
How do you then, okay, this is what we're hearing from the PDEA and the DDB. They're saying, number one, it will cause more harm than good. That's from them. I want you to answer that. And my second question is this. How do you then make sure that the PRDA that you are proposing will also not be compromised? Kasi nakita din po natin, may mga reports that even the PDEA at one point has been compromised, Senator.
When they say they will do more harm than good, siguro baka inisip nila mawawala sila ng trabaho. Hindi eh. Apparently, hindi nila naiintindihan yung batas. They discussed this some time ago eh, nung hindi ako nakaupo dito eh. Hindi na-explain sa kanila mabuti. Nung nakausap ko nga sila, Greg mismo na, na mga Pimentel, na mga nakaupo doon eh. Nung in-explain ako, naintindi nila, oo nga, tama, supervisory nga eh, ang PIDEA, ang Presidential Drug Enforcement Authority will be supervisory over enforcement, over prosecution, over rehabilitation, over prevention. Intindihin muna nila bago sila umayaw. Akala nila mawawalan sila ng trabaho. Lata, aangat nga kayo eh. Magiging oversee nga kayo eh. So, let me explain it to them during the hearings.
Okay, and
then your second question
correct. How are you sure that this will not, the PRDA won't be open to being compromised as well? Because there have been reports that PIDEA have been compromised at one point as well. Go ahead.
Hindi. Because the PNP will be on enforcement. Nag-o-oversee lang sila. Pretty much like what's happening with the DEA in the United States. Ganun yun. And they've been successful in the United States Drug Control Policy Program. Ngayon, yung ganun din sa prosecution, they will be supervisory. There will be a bureau na nakikipag-coordinate mabuti sa DOJ tungkol din sa mga kaso na to. Sa mga kaso na to. Ganun din sa DOH. Pero nakatutok dito sa authority na to over the rehabilitation. And in much the same way doon sa prevention, ganun din. There will be 4 major parang bureaus and there will be a secretary on top of it under the office of the president who will be the head. Mas maganda nga ito kaysa sa DDB. DDB, I have been chairman. 17 ang members. Hirap na hirap sila tumatawag. Ngayon, I dare them. How many times did they meet in this past year, in the previous years? It was only during my time na once a month nagmi-meeting eh. Nang ako yung DDB chairman eh. All the rest, hindi naman umaattend yung mga members eh. Ng Dangerous Drugs Board.
Okay.
Nobody attends. That's why walang quorum lagi.
And
Hindi nila ako pwede debatihin niya as well as they must read the bill first and see how it will be better for them.
And
will not do harm to the issue. It will be good. It will be very good for the country.
And speaking of the country, how will this not add another layer in the bureaucracy? Bakit hindi na lang mas paigtingin, palakasin yung PIDEA at yung DPP?
Yun ang hindi maganda. Lalo sasama yan, lalo lalayo sa pulis yan. Kaya nga, ito nga, this is practically right-sizing the government. This will not create a new body. You will merely merge them together and make them a better authority. They will have more power. Pretty much what like we did with the DMI, Department of Migrant Workers. Before we passed that, I filed the law right-sizing the government. Kaya ayoko nang gawin yun. Ayaw namin yung Department of Water, Department of Culture, Department of Disaster. Pero yung Department of Migrant Workers, para hindi nga ma-bloat, pinagsama-sama natin yun yung OWA. Yung POEA, yung mga bureau under the Department of Foreign Affairs, ginawang isa na lang. Imbis na nakakalat. Ganon din ang mangyayari dito. Magiging supervisory sila on the entire country over the Philippine National Police, the DOJ, the DOH, and the DepEd. Anong masama doon?
All right.
Gumanda nga eh.
Okay.
Maraming salamat sa inyo mga kababayan.
Gangster, you know, we do that better than anybody. I bet you got it twisted, you don't know who to trust. So many player hating niggas trying to sound like us. Say they ready for the front, but I don't think they know it. Straight to the depths of hell is where them cowards going. Well, all you still down, nigga, holler when you see me. And let these devils be sorry for the day they finally free me. I got a caravan of niggas every time we ride. Hitting motherfuckers up when we pass by. Until I die, live the life of a boss player.